My first one is the spelling of your name, man. So you have two T's or one T in you? In
Two.
Two, okay.
So the Battiste.
And because I mean,
me and Harold discussed that years ago.
yeah,
The trees, two Battistes married Battistes, and it got screwed up. Some
right.
changed their name to with a P.
Or P.
B-A-P.
Oh, Battiste. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
That's probably the original.
They came out of the same
Yeah.
nest,
Right.
but
Right.
they just for some reason he looked up the the family history, the genealogy, and all of that.
Wow.
Kind of thing.
Harold. Harold did it? Harold did it?
Harold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Wow. So you all probably all kind of related some kind of way, you know?
Yeah.
Because Battiste is such a prominent
Even
musical
Alvin,
family.
the clarinet player.
Yeah. Alvin. Yeah. Sure.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So Warren, we're here. Warren Battiste, welcome.
Sure. Yeah.
You're right. So first, let's figure out how old you are. I think you're born in 25. Is that correct?
1925, November the 8th, to be exact.
Yeah. So we're in 2019. So you're gonna be 94 this year.
Yes.
We're
Gone on 100.
going on 100. Yeah. Where in New Orleans were you born?
New Orleans, Louisiana, in the downtown area of New Orleans.
Yeah.
At that time, it was across Broad Street. They called that back of town.
Mm-hmm.
And that was basically an Italian section, and a lot of groceries and stuff. It was a nice area. Now it's maybe called suburban.
Yeah.
But at that time, we were living in the suburban. We were poor and a half.
4.5.
You know what I mean?
What street did you grow up on?
Orleans Street. I don't remember the address. 22. God, let's see. I moved so many places, man. 2220 Orleans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I picked you up on Orleans Avenue this morning, so we've gone full circle.
That was 3700 block of Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full circle. So what? You grew up in a musical household, or?
Well, my father, he played the banjo and the guitar. He worked the early days at Preservation Hall with Kid Chic and the Humphrey Brothers and all of that.
Yeah.
And on a Wednesday, they used to come to my house for rehearsal. And I was about maybe 7 or 8
Yeah.
in the corner trying to listen, and they didn't want me there because they was using all kind of profanity and drinking, and and at that time they were smoking pot. It was legal then. Believe me, yeah. So, and he played the banjo and the guitar, and like I mentioned before, every Wednesday we had this jam session, and I'd watch.
Yeah.
And 7 or 8 years old, I learned how to play all the songs. But yeah, I had no idea what they were. And the story is, I got interested in music, and my father had a guitar, was under the bed, and he didn't allow anyone to touch it. I mean, you could touch his wife, but not his banjo. So well, anyway,
I got now. Was it a 6-string banjo or a 4-string banjo?
4.
4. Okay.
Yeah, I learned on a 4-string.
Okay.
And he used to work at the Crescent City Bed Factory. That was way during the Depression time. And he came from work in the evening, and I'd sit in between his legs. I was like that, and I was watching him do everything with his hand. And I didn't know what it was, but the impression in my mind, I could remember positions.
So you can remember what his hands looked like when he played?
Big like mine.
Yeah. So you could remember the positions that he played?
I remember the position that he played, and I connected the position with every song. And they must have played about, oh man, 30 songs because they had to play jitney dance. Jitney dance is where you continuously play music while the girls dance. They played it in the French Quarter at some place where the guys would come in this dance hall or this club on Bourbon Street. They would buy tickets. It was called 10 cents a dance. And you had to play music continuously. And they had a, listen, it was, segregation and, like they had a canvas curtain between the band and the girls kicking. Yeah, so they didn't want the guys to see all of that, yeah. So it was continuous what they call jitney music, dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, getting back to, I used to watch my father play it, and every song he played, I had the impression, what do you do? And I connected and associated them with every song as a kid. I had no bills to pay, nothing, so I had room and energy to remember all of that. Now, when he goes to work, I pull his guitar from under the bed, and man, that was dangerous. I mean, he's very sensitive, just like I am about my guitar. He's very sensitive about it. I'd pick it up. When I come home from school, 3 o'clock, pick that bad boy up, and what I saw, I would be playing it. Yeah. And every song I went through it and had a good memory. Mm-hmm. And I had to watch the clock because 5 o'clock he'd come home. And I wouldn't dare allow him to catch me playing this banjo, man. I don't know. Mm-mm. So one evening I got to play, and I look up and there he was. I got so involved in playing the guitar that time just slipped by on me. And I said, well, I'm going to get a beating. Big time. But to my surprise, he was surprised that I was interested in the guitar. He said, I didn't know you like that. I said, yes, I do. And he went to the dresser drawer and he pulled out 2 books. He said, here's a beginner's book, and here, I want you to study this. And every evening when I come from work, I'm going to show you how to play. I already knew, but I didn't connect it with theory and harmony. So he kind of filled in the gap with the theory and the harmony, and I wrote what I was playing, and I learned how to play it. And every Wednesday when the guys would come, I knew all the songs. I knew because my father showed me, and he named the chords for me. D flat, A flat, all them. Yeah, and I was kind of familiar with it. And since he gave me the book, I remember he bought that book from Philibert. Philibert had a store. Philibert had a store on Barone Street. This is way back, man.
Yeah, that's the Hank connection to Roger Filiberto. Hank, that's where I first started taking lessons, was at Filiberto's, but it was over on
Barone?
No, it was on off of Harrison, and Hank actually married Roger Filiberto's wife.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That's many years past what you're talking about.
Yeah. And anyway, so my father they got a job somewhere in, it was Bourbon Street. I'm trying to think of the name of the club. Leon Prima had a club there. This was years ago. Oh, man. And that's where the curtain was, the canvas curtain, and the girls kicking, and they wouldn't allow you to see that. Anyway, my father said, I'm going to bring my son. Hey, he can play, because he was kind of like proud of me. By that time I was 13. From 8 to 13, I had really got pretty good, developed some calluses and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the old dudes was looking at me and said, oh, this snotty-nosed kid, he's going to mess up our And I got there and said, what do you want to play? Anything. I mean, I'm 13 now. I say anything. And they looked at one another. He's real smart, too smart, you know. So they kicked it out, and I ran through it. And they were surprised. They said, yeah, get him a Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola was a nickel a bottle, those little short bottles, a long time ago. And they gave me a cup. Said, you want to play something else? I said, yes. What do you want to play? I said, anything. Because I saw all of their rehearsals. I remember all of their songs, and even before my dad showed me, I knew I kind of like had a handle on things, you know? And so they allowed me to play 4 or 5 more. But then, at that time, you could bring kids in the ballroom, and there was no such thing as the ABC board and all this. I guess they did have it, but I mean, the laws wasn't, you know, enforced like they're supposed to, you know, like they do now. And that was it. And so he brought me to Filiberta, and he brought me an L7 guitar for $225.
Wow.
Dummy didn't know what he had. I'm calling myself that. And I'm playing with it, strung it up, and I met a guy named Justin Adams. And he and I got friends. And it was a friend of mine. We studied together. I don't know if you remember Ernest McLean.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
You remember Ernest?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. And Curtis Trevine.
Trevine, yeah. Andre Trevine's father, right?
That was his daughter.
Right.
And Irving, that was his brother. Man, there were some great guitar players, man. Oh.
What about Roy Montrell? Did you know Roy?
Oh, I went to school. I was sitting in the same class with Roy. The devil.
The devil.
Say that. Scratch that off, man.
All right. But he was quiet. He played with Fats and all that. I mean, Roy.
I was
so
the first guitar
you went to school with?
Excuse me for interrupting you, but I was the first guitar player with Fats.
Really? Well,
he was playing in the 9th Ward, the high, what they call it, the Hideaway?
I don't know.
I was going to Greenwald School of Music then. It was after World War II. And he was looking for a guitar player. It was in a real hole in the wall. I mean, you couldn't get 5 people in there, you know what I mean? And you open up the toilet and the water would meet you halfway and all this kind of stuff.
I didn't realize, though, you were the first guitar player with Fats.
But he fired me.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, well.
Because he was playing, you know what he played. And Grunwald was teaching us harmony, theory, manuscript, composition, the whole thing. And I went there, Wildeye, Bushy Taylor, getting all excited and playing this advanced stuff. And we looked at one another. He said, no, you know, we were at one gig. He paid me off. He said, no, you're not working out. In so many words, he told me you're not working out. And that was my first gig. Then there was another guy came. His name was, nickname was Papoose. Then Roy and there's another guy, he's overseas, he married some girl and went overseas. Anyway. I'm losing my train of thoughts.
Yes, I was just gonna. So you because Second World War, you would have been like 15 years old or so when the 16 when the Second World War started.
I just come out of school.
Yeah.
Because I was in Xavier. And during the war, if you was in college and you didn't miss a class, they didn't draft you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
So you didn't get drafted for this?
I didn't get drafted, but if you missed, they would turn you into the board and they would take in.
Yeah.
So music got pretty good in New Orleans at that time during World War II. And I was missing Monday at school. They warned me, but I got to play this music, man, you know? And I stayed up too many Mondays and said, well, you're going into the service, and that's how I got in.
So what did you do when you were in the service?
Electrical engineer's helper.
Okay.
You know.
Which part of the, you were Air Force, or is that what you were?
Oh, Army Air Force.
Army
yeah.
Air Force.
Army Air Force.
Yeah. You,
And one strike. That's it.
yeah.
Because I didn't like it, and I wasn't really a good soldier.
By the way, he has.
No, see,
I've seen a jacket he has. That's the Second World War bomber's jacket.
I have an original flight jacket.
Wow.
70-some years old.
Wow.
Brand new.
Wow.
They had this ignorant sergeant. Looked like the sergeants, everybody they get this, he's ignorant, let him be a sergeant or a captain.
Yeah. Sergeant
You know,
Corey.
so he can juke people around. And I was 18, 19, something like that. And I had very little sense too at that time. No sense of reasoning. And I was mouthing off at him and, yeah, well, you got to scrub the floors with a toothbrush. I said, yeah, I can be there. I said, I'll be there forever. I said, then I can kill some time. And I was killing time, really. I was one of them nasty, rebellious kind of people at that time.
That's hard to believe.
Well, I'm thinking something else. But anyway, these sergeants, they wanted to upgrade me to corporal and stuff, but I had to do a little extra duty. Every time they give you a stripe in the service, they give you some extra work. Nope, I'm not the one. I don't want no stripes. So that was it. You got another one?
Yeah, so well, I was going to take that. So you got the GI Bill, and that took you to Greenwald School of Music,
Yeah.
is that right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So can you tell us what it was like to be at Greenwald's and what you guys were working on?
Ooh, Greenwald, man, that was good. They had good teachers there. I had a guitar instructor who was not a guitar teacher, Willie Humphrey. No, Percy Humphrey.
Percy Humphrey.
He was clarinet. The one I went to Willie and Percy. One was a saxophone, one was a trumpet. I forget. But the clarinet player was teaching me. Ernest McLean and myself. There was a guy named Bill Jones, a guitar player. You know him?
No.
He came up along that time, along with Justin Adams. I don't think Justin Adams was a veteran. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't remember seeing him at the school. I saw Wallace Davenport.
Where was Grunwald's? It was on
Camp Street.
Camp Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
5-something Camp Street. And
I remember that was a pretty prominent music school at the time. You know, I mean, it was Werlines. I'm not sure if Werlines was.
It was close to that.
Yeah, so it was kind of like the same kind of stature.
They supplied all the instruments.
Right.
For that school. And it was in two sections, the black section and the white.
Oh wow.
But we all used to get together anyway. You know what I mean? Because musicians, there's no line drawn. It's always been that way.
Right.
And I have a story to tell about that. I had a friend, Eddie. He was a white guy on the other side, and we were playing. And at that time, television had just developed. 45, 47, something like that.
Yeah, right.
And WDSU had live programs. There wasn't no program like you do films today and, you run it over. And they had a talent show. And I won. When I went to get the personal interview, I was black. Wasn't happening at the time. You understand? So, and I did the music and everything. So, Eddie and I used to practice together. I used to come at his house. He used to go at my house. He was Eddie. I used to call him Bingo Django. He was an Italian. We kidding one another, yeah. Anyway, and I told Eddie about it. I said, "Why don't you go do the gig, and I'll show you how to do it." I said, "I can't do what you do." I said, "Man, I'm gonna show you. You know, just do it." And I think he did at that time live shows. You couldn't do no more than 3 or 4 songs, short, quick. I showed him how to do it. He went and did it, and he gave me half of the money. So that turned out all right.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. That was an experience. I said, yeah, that's how that worked. Me and Eddie. So then Eddie stopped playing guitar altogether. He went and got a job at the driving the Galvez bus. And one day I got on this guy. I said, "Man, well, you supposed to be a guitar player?" "No, man." He said, "I can't handle it like you." I said, "Man, will you?" And he was good.
Yeah.
He was good, but I don't know. He just gave up. And then Ernest McLean and myself, we started hanging out together. And people used to tease us that I wasn't as talkative as I am now. Ernest was quiet, I was quiet. People used to say, 2 guitar players, they must run one another crazy because they don't talk. They don't talk with one another. Yeah.
How long did you stay at Grunwald's?
The whole 4 years.
4 years.
4 years.
Nice. Is that where you started working? Because I mean, one of your things is you doing a lot of chord runs, chord substitution type stuff. Is that where you started learning that, or where did that come from?
Well, they taught us everything, and they didn't teach us style. They taught basic theory, harmony, music, manuscript writing, reading, and all kinds of stuff. You have to apply it the directions you want it to go, whether it's country and western, rhythm and blues, and all of that. But after I got out, I was playing with Charlie Burbanks. You remember him?
No.
Oh, man.
No, I'm not. I mean,
Charlie Burbanks and Wallace Davenport. Like I said, Red Tyler. All the old guys, they're gone now.
So
Ed Frank.
So this was been in the 50s.
Yes.
What was the scene?
Let's see.
Yeah, there's been late 40s, early 50s. What was the scene?
48, 49, 50s, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What was the scene like in New Orleans in the 50s?
The what?
The scene, the music scene?
We were playing, we were getting $175 per night.
wow.
It's a
They
lot of
had,
money.
now on
For the
Canal
band.
Street, they had a lot of clubs. And we were getting paid, man.
You getting paid $175 for the band, or?
No.
Whoa. That time?
Anybody, well,
That's
there
money.
got to be somebody living. No. From 125 to 175.
Wow. In
Because
1950s.
I remember my brother Earl.
That's like getting paid $500,
You remember,
$600.
do you remember Earl Battiste?
Earl who?
Brother.
Earl who?
Earl Battiste, my brother. He was a saxophone. He taught Paralot. Matt
You taught Matt Parallel.
Paralot.
Wow.
Yeah, him and they used to be good buddies.
Wow.
And they worked on Canal and almost across the street from the Sanger. Because there's a lot of stores over there now, but there was clubs over there.
Yeah.
And all on Rampart Street, that side streets, they had clubs there. And Bourbon Street, oh man, Earl Palmer was, I don't know if you remember Earl Palmer.
Yeah, I know Earl.
He worked there, he ran a band. Wallace Davenport worked there, he ran a band. And Bourbon Street was not like it is today. It was strictly jazz. Everything, everybody was jazz. Somehow it turned into what it is now. But we had fun.
So bebop had started coming on the scene then. So that was that your thing, or?
Well, just before I came out of the service, I was hearing Lester Young. He was kind of like the front runner. Then Johnny Come Lately, Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, and all of that. That was in 46, 47. Because I was stationed in Newark, New Jersey, then Weequahic Park, Army Air Force Base. And we used to go, Warren Bell was stationed there too. He used to go to New York every time we got a pass. And he'd go sit in, and he was good always. What's the name wanted him? Dizzy Gillespie wanted him while he was in service. So when you get out to service, check with us. Yeah, but he didn't go back. Warren Bell.
Lester Young was from Algiers, right? I think he was from. I think Lester Young was born in Algiers, Louisiana.
No,
Yeah,
Warren Bell. No, he was born here.
Yeah, but I guess I'm saying I think Lester Young was as well.
I don't know.
Well, anyway, he was.
But anyway,
different story. Yeah.
he was always good. Him and Red Tyler, you know, they were always gifted, I would say. You know.
Yeah.
So you played around in the 50s and so you know. So I know, you know, by the end of the 50s, you know, you met your wife at some point. How did that work out?
Oh yeah, good luck with that.
Well, you know.
Yeah, we got married, and then I started playing, and I was playing music, and I had a job working at the post office, so kind of got things together.
Yeah.
What was your wife?
A lot of bands used to come by, and I got a story to tell on that. I don't know if I got time for all of this.
What was your wife's name?
They used to have bands coming in the 40s and 50s, and it was Riverfront. I don't know what's the name of that place. You guys might know.
Which where?
Oh, near the river. Yeah, one hall they used to play before everything broke up. Not Economy Hall. My memory is failing me. Anyway, kind of like ILA or something like that. But anyway, Lionel Hampton's band used to come in, Count Basie's band used to come in, Dizzy Gillespie and everything. One time Dizzy Gillespie band came in and played. And it was a requirement before the outside bands would come. The union required that a local band had to play before the outside band came.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember Dookie Chase's band.
Oh, well, I never heard him play, but I know, yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
Let me tell you about this. He played before Dizzy Gillespie played. And then after that, they got off the stage, and then Dizzy Gillespie played, and Dizzy Gillespie had intermission, so they went on. Dookie Chase's band played during the intermission. You know, New Orleans people was always imitators. Always, you know. And we were talking about that today. Dookie was playing, and Dizzy Gillespie run into the hall. I think it was ILA Hall. Run into the hall. I thought that was my band playing. It was Dookie Chase's band.
Wow.
Sounds so good.
Yeah.
They sound good, but
Right.
they were emulating everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Warren Bell got the sound from Art Pepper.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the sound he had, Art Pepper and these other dudes, man, that played the alto sax.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was there too. I said, man, what the heck is running for it?
Yeah.
He
So
thought that was his band, and he thought he was late. And Dizzy always told me, never play a jam session.
Really?
I said, well, why? He said, I'm good. I'm great. I play with good people. He said, but I got on a bandstand one time and it kicked off with two. I didn't know. He said I was embarrassed. He said I played my little two dozen songs and that was it. You know, I cancel out the rest of the stuff. You know.
Yeah, that's funny.
So you met Annabelle, your wife, in the late 40s or early 50s, or?
The late 40s.
Late 40s.
Because I got married in 50.
In 50.
Yeah.
And then you started having children.
Oh yeah.
And you haven't stopped since then, huh?
Tell me about it. You want to do the job? You do the job.
You have how many kids? You have almost the whole football team, right?
I got 10.
Wow.
10 kids.
And I tease my wife. I hope y'all don't put all that sort of thing. I tease her sometimes. I say, you know what? We've been married 69 years. This coming May will be 69 years. I said, we got 10 kids, and I think 3 of them belong to me.
That's a good joke.
We tease one another, you know.
Right.
One evening I got disturbed. I said, I'm leaving. She said, I'll pack your suitcase so fast you'll give me a tip.
So now you've got a new wife, you've got babies coming, but I know that you met Illinois Jack at
Oh yeah, he was coming in and out. Mm-hmm. Illinois, a whole lot of good people from Texas. A lot of people from Houston used to come to New Orleans on a regular basis. And Illinois came, and I was playing in the French Quarter, I think on the 400 block of Bourbon Street. And he was playing next door to our place.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the name of it. And in his intermission, I think I was playing with Wallace and them, and what's that drummer they called Black, the early Black? You don't remember?
Not James Black.
James Black.
James
The
Black. No,
first one, not James Black.
Yeah, Blackwell.
Blackwell,
Yeah,
but
Blackwell.
James Black was the last one here.
Right.
Yeah, Blackwell. Later on, he went to New York and did well. And then there was Houston Gilding, bass player.
No, I didn't know.
He went away. He went with Lionel Hampton picked him up from here, and he left. So Illinois Jaquette passed here, and he said, "Man, I like some of the things you're doing. Would you like to play? Go to New York." And I'm terrified of New York, man. That's just fast lane. I don't know if I can handle that. You know, heads up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm a country boy from New Orleans, and you know, they might steamroll me, roll over me there. You know. So I said, yeah, let's go. So my wife and I, we talked. She said, if you want to go, if I said no, you're gonna resent me for the rest of your life. She said, because I know you're passionate about the music. I said, well, let me give it a try. So I was working at the post office. So I went and asked my supervisor, because I had to give Illinois a few days. I told him, I got a job, man. I can't just drop it. And cause the post office was paying great money then.
Mm-hmm.
And so they gave me a month off. I had a nice supervisor called Mr. Ryan, and Mr. Ryan gave me the month off, and I went to New York, and I started playing, and he took me everywhere. I didn't know where the heck I was going. He took me to Minton's on 160th and 7th Avenue, and I went up there and said, he said, put your stuff up there. I had a little amplifier, and not a real powerful, but something that'll get me by. Mm-hmm. And I had this L7 guitar with my father bought for me. Mm-hmm. And I got up there and played and played and played. And after I got through, I was intimidated. Thelonious Monk I was playing with.
Oh,
I
man.
got scared. And not only that, other good people that was playing, because Thelonious Monk, they were playing with gods of their caliber. And here's snotty-nosed kid like me, and I'm in New York. Yeah, come on, let's do it.
Yeah.
Thelonious, I got scared, man. I wouldn't get up on the stand no more.
Wow.
And then
You decided to stay in New York after that?
well, I went back home because my month was over with. I took me with some gigs, and I played it, and it was over with. So I went back and I told my wife, I like New York. And I said, but it's too fast to raise kids. Yeah, I mean, you got to get in the fast lane, man. I said, I said, I like it, but I don't want to raise my kids here. At that time, I didn't have 10, I had 6. 4 of them was made in New York, in New Jersey. And so a guy told me, go across the river, New Jersey. It's only 15, 20 minutes ride. But I wasn't driving then, and I didn't have a car. So somebody took me over to New Jersey, and I went to Teaneck. They took me to Teaneck, just as soon as you cross. It's like Algiers, New Orleans. It was that close. And I looked around and saw the transportation was very good. And so I said, I think I want to stay here. I called my wife, because we were making regular phone calls, home line things. And she said, well, go over there and see what you can do. And if you like it, and if it's comparable to raise kids, then we'll come. I went over there. I quit the post office, came back to New York, played in New York and New Jersey. I got some connections in Jersey, at a coffee house restaurant, kind of like coffee house restaurant thing like that. And they gave me 3 nights a week, and the money was greater than here. Oh man, I could dance in the street after they pay me on one of them gigs. Man.
Wow, that's great.
So I told my wife about the place in the sections, because I had one of these Polaroid cameras. You take an instant picture, you slip it out, mail it to her. I'm trying to get a way to get over there, man. And she said, yeah. So I came over. Got me a house. Now, in New Jersey, at that time, if you had kids, they wouldn't rent you. I mean, with some places. And I said, well, now I got a problem. And so I went to a real estate office, and they referred me to a place. Dumps, slums, ghetto, this. Gun shooting, whatever you can think of was man, I gotta live here. But I wanted to be there. I said, I'm gonna take a chance. 3rd floor flat, cold water.
That doesn't sound pleasant at all, huh?
I mean, it was very uncomfortable. But at that time, I had accumulated jobs in Jersey and in New York. I was cleaning up financially, I thought, it was a good advantage for me. So I said, okay. So I gave the landlord a couple of months advance. 3 flights of stairs, 3-story, no elevator. So I said, well, we're gonna do this. And I told my wife was very, very particular. She don't play that. I'll take a chance, but after a while, so we stayed there and I hustled up some money to buy a house. And at that time, I got a job at General Motors. I was fortunate enough to get a job at General Motors, worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah.
You would work at General Motors during the week, and then you play music over the weekend.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the only way I could help the community. I mean, accumulate that money because I wanted to buy a house. And so I told my parents what was going on. They said, "We're gonna lend you the money for the down payment." So, yeah.
Yes, they helped out.
So, and I had quite a bit of money saved. And my wife was a nurse. She went to. They had at that time they had affirmative action, and she was able to get into nursing school, finish it, got a job, nursing RN, and so we pooled our money together. Plus my parents loaned us the down payment. Bingo! Because I told her I couldn't stand to be in here. We was gonna come back to New Orleans because I couldn't allow my kids to be in that kind of a stuff. Every night shooting, bang bang, police and sirens and shooting, and oh man, I had girls. My first was girls. I had 3 girls first, then a boy, and then another boy. I couldn't allow them to be in that environment. So, it wasn't too much different from here, but worse, you know. And so we finally bought the house.
Yeah.
10-room house, because we know we was getting kids, you know. And we made it. And finally we had a 30-year mortgage, no, 25-year mortgage, and we paid for it. And after my oldest daughter got married, then one at a time, started getting married. So it was hard for my wife to go on the second floor because we had 3 floors. Second floor, plus we converted the attic. There was 2 rooms there, one on each side, and then we converted the basement because I had sometimes rehearsal with the musicians and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's how we made it.
Yeah. So how was the music scene in New York then? How did that go?
Oh man, in the 60s, I got a chance to play Roland. What's that guy name? Sonny Rollins.
Sonny Rollins.
I call him Roland.
Yeah. He still likes guitar.
I gave
piano, so.
I gave this first gig to his trumpet player. Oh man, he got killed, and you probably heard him under the subway in New York.
Who?
The trumpet player. He was playing with Matt Roach, and he left the band, tried to get home, and he went under the subway. Forget this trumpet player, very young trumpet player. He played with Larry Young Jr. You remember Larry Young Jr.?
I mean, the organist?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
I played with him too.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, they all came up in New Jersey. And played with, at that time when I was over there, was the organ scene going on. George, Grant Green, Ted Dunbar, a lot of guys, myself, we all was, and other great guitar players were there, man. No name, man, but they could play. But as you know, you've been to New York.
Yeah.
All these people that could play, man.
Yeah.
And so I was playing with some of the organ players. I can't think of the name. I called it the other day. Can't think of the name right now. He came down here and I played with him.
Organ player?
Yeah.
Jack McDuff? No.
No, not McDuff. I played with
Jimmy
him.
Smith?
No, the other.
Lonnie Smith?
What?
No. There was another one.
I I mean, I'm playing with Ike Stubblefield this weekend. That's not Ike. He's
There was
too
a
young.
bunch of cats in that. That's the whole chitlin cycle.
No, but you guys know this name if I call it.
Yeah. There you
Came,
go.
they had an organ trio here.
Mhm.
I mean, three organ guys played.
Yeah.
One was from here, one came from California.
Mhm.
Smith. Long-
Jimmy Smith.
Yeah,
I said that. You said yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy Smith.
Yeah.
You don't remember him coming down here?
I played with him. I played one gig. I tell people that was my best organ trio gig I ever played. It was a long time ago. It was Jimmy Smith and James Black and myself.
Wow.
It was me, Jimmy Smith, and this big drum player used to play with that Monday night lady at Snug, who play on Monday night.
Charmaine.
Oh, Charmaine?
Yeah.
Okay.
The big guy that started off with her, what's his name?
Joe French.
Yeah, French. Jimmy Smith, him, and myself.
Yeah.
And there was three guys, one from California, Jimmy Smith, and one guy from here. It was an organ kind of battle or session or whatever they wanted to call it.
Okay.
And I played that, yeah.
Wow.
So
You were around.
Wow, but I was pretty young at that time. I was probably my mid-20s at that time when I played with, because that was one of the early jazz festivals. It was like one of these gigs they put together
Yeah.
for Jimmy Smith,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but so you're talking about things that happened before I was even on
I'm
scene.
thinking you were here, and I make that mistake all the time.
That's right. Yeah. I'm a lot older than I look. You look great, man. What's your secret for, like, man? You look.
Well,
When he said 94 years old, I was like, what?
But my wife, I said, my secret is I'm being punished by God. I teased my wife about that. I said, he's punishing me. He's letting you punish me.
Mm-hmm.
He's letting you give me a hard time. I said, and if I happen to die and go to hell, I'm going to go in there and look around and say, this is all y'all got? This is it? My wife got stronger stuff than this. I'm crazy, I know it, I'll admit it.
Right.
Because I like this distorted sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what keeps you young, man. Is your humor, man? Because you have such a good attitude towards life.
Yeah.
Good positive attitude.
Yeah.
So you started coming back to New Orleans, 25, 30 years ago again, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I started coming back. My mother had a stroke. No, first my father died, and sudden heart attack instantly. And I quit my job and everything and came over here. And I got into a jam session or something. And I played a few clubs because I brought my instrument. Because I knew I was going to be here a while to, help my mother with the house and, the will and all that kind of stuff. I started playing at some clubs or somewhere. Bufus. That's where I played.
Okay.
And a little hole in the wall on Esplanade.
Esplanade, right.
Yeah. And they kind of liked what I was doing. I wasn't doing much anyway. And then I started working at the Preservation Hall, and I did that when I was 13. And Jaffe, all these people remembered me.
Mm-hmm. So you moved back, this is after New Jersey. You moved back to New Orleans?
I visited New Orleans, just like I'm here now.
I got you, going back and forth. Okay.
And I used to come on a regular basis than I do now. I used to come in February, and then I'd go back, and then I'd come back in September, when the football season opened up. Because June and July and August, man, things were, from what I understand, dead.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Too hot, and it dries up here.
Yeah, but I mean, you guys like you and the others, y'all can make something happen.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, so
Go ahead.
I was just going to say this is actually a fun story of how I met Warren. That my daughter was tiny. She was a little stroller. She was not even a year old, and I'd go down to Airlines. I'd take my belt and tug it sideways. She has this beautiful Gibson guitar on the wall, and I'd ask could I play it. And then one day this really old guy came in and he said, "Man, let me show you something." So that's this guy here. Well, now my daughter's 23 and the Gibson is at my house, and Warren and I still hang out and swap lives. So yeah. So that's a long life, Warren. It's a lot of stories. You still create new ones.
Yeah.
So,
But like I was saying, I was telling him that in about another year or so, or even when I go back, I'm kind of thinking about retiring, semi-retiring. Yeah, man. I mean, these young guys come and kicking my butt.
Yeah, but they know what you got. You got the history and you got everything, man.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
You never retired from
They
music.
look at me and say, "This old fogey."
No.
And I feel, there's advancement and new people coming up, and you got to respect that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be transformation and changes,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to be realistic with yourself. I can't last forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're still playing though. Are you still playing now, right?
Yeah, I'm still playing. Yeah,
still
I play every Saturday at Buford's since I've been here.
Wow. Okay.
But I make them pay me though. Homie, don't play this.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the sidemen get what they get. But I told Leslie, she runs the band.
Right.
That's it. Because she calls me up every summer. And if I'm coming down, I say, yeah, I want to come down, but I want to make it worth my while.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I visit my siblings, my brothers and sisters and all that. So you see guys like you,
Right.
and it's always nice.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I want to make it my while.
Mm-hmm.
And so.
And you play at Snug every once in a while too.
Yeah.
Snug Horror, I know I couldn't make the last one because I haven't. But
Oh yeah.
that's always very enjoyable.
Listen, man, you didn't make the last one. One monkey don't stop the show.
Well, that's great, man. I think you gave us a lot of information here, man. This is amazing, your history, and I'm just glad to know you, because I didn't really, we didn't cross paths because of our age differences or whatever, but I haven't, I just basically knew you. How many years ago did I meet you? It was probably like 10 years ago.
Well, I
or
was
something.
introduced to you by Justin Adams.
Justin Adams.
You were playing uptown with, you were playing bass
Oh, really?
with the piano player. What's his
No,
name?
Ellis.
Ellis.
Ellis at Tyler's?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, actually, we did a duet. I was probably playing. I wasn't playing seven string.
So you're upright.
Oh no, I didn't play upright. You must have been thinking of somebody else.
No, that was you.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't play upright.
Was you?
But I did play bass early. But when I was playing at
Looked like you was playing to me upright.
yeah, well, when I was playing with Ellis at Tyler's, it was a duet. And I was playing seven string. There's a picture of us up somewhere on the wall here.
I thought it was upright.
No, it wasn't upright.
Because I know you were playing bass. I said, well, he should get, because Justin told me he's a guitar player. Man, I want you to meet this great guitar player.
Right.
And I said, yeah, but I want to see him.
Right.
And then when I saw you, what'd I tell you?
Right.
I knew you're good, but I scared you.
Yeah, you definitely scared me. Still do.
I said, told him that.
I know you do. Okay, man. All right, Warren.
That's great, man.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much, man. That was beautiful, man.